Hi guys, Sergio here with another bit for Blender. In this one we're gonna be talking about a really exciting feature in Blender 3.1 alpha and above, and it has something to do with subdivision. Could actually change the way we think about subdivision or work in subdivision, so really exciting. Now before we start, for anyone who's studying hard surface and really would like to deepen their knowledge, we have a lot of free content on our website blenderbros.com. We have guides, PDF files, tutorials, courses, etc. The link is in the video description. Hop on our site and check it out. And for those of you who are more into structured studying, then we highly recommend our Blender Bros coaching and community membership, where you have access to tons of courses, resources, an amazing forum with great people, and of course, both myself and Josh are very active on that forum, so answering all the questions, helping people out as much as we can. And there are also other perks which are really cool, so check it out, link in the video description. So let's get back to our sub D problem, and before we start, like I said, this is for Blender 3.1 alpha and above, meaning it's an experimental build. Now before we start doing anything, I want to show you how to get it, because some of you might not know. You need to go to Blender website, so blender.org, and go to download, which will display here the most current version. But when you scroll down here and click on experimental, you will see that you're gonna have access to some new interesting versions, right? So I'm using this one, but you can go for the alpha if you feel lucky, okay? Important thing is that when you download it, you do not run the Blender usually as any other Blender, so you do not install it first. You simply unzip the folder and you run it from the folder, okay? So if I clicked on this button here, exe, it's just simply gonna open Blender, okay? So you do not install it, you just run it from the Blender folder, and that's it, okay? And there you go, so you got another Blender 3.1 alpha open, so I can close it. You know, when you normally work in sub D, you have two ways of approaching controlling mesh. So let me just add a cube here, and I'm going to subdivide it with Control 4, right click and shade smooth. Now when I go to edit mode, I can either add loops with Control R, right, to control the mesh, or what I could do is, you know, right click on an edge and add crease and move my mouse to increase the crease, right? So you can just, you know, play with the crease value and control your mesh this way. Each of these methods has its advantages and disadvantages. For example, if you're going to add a lot of loops, you may not only add a lot of geo in corners, right, like, you know, in these areas, okay, but also if this surface is curved, it's going to be a bit more difficult to control the curvature of the surface, because you will have loops and edges running through it. So let me show you. If I add a loop here and let's say scale this, right, and because I have this loop here very closely, you know, and I wanted to, for example, have this edge a little bit more supple, it's going to be quite tricky to do, because I will need to manipulate with both of these loops here to create something like this. You see what I mean? Now let me talk to you about this new feature. The new feature is actually creasing verts, which is kind of cool. So if you select a vert now, and you go here to the menu, vert and vertex crease. By the way, if you right click and assign shortcut if you want to. So let's go to vert crease, right? And we're going to just crease one vert. You will get something like this, right? Which is pretty bloody cool. And then you can, for example, crease this one as well. So let's just go to vert and vert crease, and let's crease it as well. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking and simply dragging my mouse. But I can open end panel and I can access my item. And here under transform, I can actually control this. So watch this. If I can select both of them, I'll have additional options, right? Now I can actually crease the edge in between them, and I can reduce the mean vertex crease here. So I can, for example, create something like this, which is really cool. So let me just increase the subdivision to 5, so Control 5. Now if I wanted to achieve the same thing on the other side with crease, just creasing the edges, is going to be impossible. Because look, if I'm going to crease this edge here, it's going to be just the middle that's creased, because these are supple, right? So I need to crease them as well. But if I do that, my entire shape's going to change. If I'll be willing to do that with, you know, with loops, it's going to be difficult as well, because my whole shape changes. So this is a very interesting tool that's been added to Blender. So this could be a very interesting workflow for achieving results that normally wouldn't be possible. And in addition to all of this, you can manipulate with each vert separately. So you can decrease, for example, me increase on one side and do something like this. Then we can use Mesh Machine to mirror it to the other side, and we got a saddle. It's just cool stuff. Let's just remove this one in the middle, and you got something like this. I mean, it's pretty badass, what you can do with this. It's really interesting. So anyway, guys, hope you're gonna have fun with this one. Play with it a little bit. Experimental stuff in Blender occasionally is really interesting, so I would suggest, reading the release notes and seeing what's up, because occasionally they're coming up with some really cool features that might change the way we model. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.